Good afternoon. The date is March 11th, 2024, and the time is 5:23 p.m. My name is Angelina Florim, and I am the Youth Council Mayor. City Clerk, can you check for quorum?
Mayor Angelina Floime,
Here.
Councilwoman Stacy Cotier,
Here.
Councilwoman Marlene Alpolon,
Here.
City Manager Justine Cotier,
Here.
City Attorney Hilary Yasanat.
Here. Do we have quorum?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we can now continue with our Pledge of Allegiance, presented to us by a special guest.
Good evening, young people. How's everybody? Okay, would you stand for me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One moment, in a moment of prayer. Lord God, we want to thank you for this collection of young folks, our leaders of tomorrow. And we want to ask that you bless them with wisdom and courage to move forward in their endeavors. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Thank you.
I can also do a dance.
I mean that'll go under special presentation.
Good luck, you all.
Thank you. Do we have any special presentations?
No, we do not.
Okay, so we can continue with the agenda.
All right, we are moving straight into tab A, and it is the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All right, it is carried. Councilwoman Alpolon,
Second.
Councilwoman Cotier.
Second.
Okay, it is carried. We are moving on to tab B. It is voting on installing street lights in dark areas, and it is sponsored by Councilwoman Marlene Alpolo.
So for this item, I'd actually like to table it to next meeting because I don't have all the information gathered for it yet. But I do want to talk about, well, we'll talk about it later. But I want to talk about, I'd rather talk about my next item instead, since it relates to our budget.
I actually would like to deny your request to table it, because we actually did talk about it. I'm not sure if you remembered, in our last meeting, we just didn't officially vote on it. And if we vote on it, that means we can still discuss the item afterwards and new information can still be provided, as long as we still agree to still have the lights get done and partner with. I believe in our last meeting, we were told that it is done through code or one of those departments. So, I mean, if everyone's still in the same view and still, then we can just vote on it. Yeah. Do we have any comments or additions from any of the members? Okay, so I would actually like to motion to vote on passing the street lights because we did discuss it in our last meeting, just never officially voted on it. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, it is carried. Councilwoman Alpolon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier.
Yes.
It is carried. We are moving on to tab C, which states reviewing bylaws, and it is sponsored by Vice Mayor Angelina Floime.
Okay, I actually did meet with our city clerk, and she was telling me about bylaws being the things that we can actually change during our meetings. So anything that doesn't go against what is in our actual ordinance, we can change. So that could either be our name or how often we have our meeting dates. And then it'll just be up to us what things we want to add and ratify, because after review from what we were provided, we do not actually have any written form of bylaws. So the first thing I would definitely like to talk about is the dates that we would like to have our meetings, and vote to have this open as a discussion so that we can continue having the discussion. And then when we find the respectful items, I believe we would just get in touch with our city manager. And then we will come back another day and then vote on what we would like to pass, unless we are clear on ones we currently want to pass right now. But seeing as we don't have a liaison, it's a little difficult to know what exactly is eligible to go through. So as meeting dates, we can't exactly say we're going to have this change at an additional meeting day without knowing what days are actually available, stuff like that. So if we just want to discuss and then come back again and vote on it, or if we want to vote on continuing the discussion outside of here, I definitely would like for all of us to maybe have a collective or individual meeting with the city clerk, as well as hopefully the attorney as well. I'm not sure as far as ratification, how that would go. But I also am proposing that we possibly bring up a change in the ordinance that is the youth council to the actual sitting council. Reason is because we are only allowed to serve 2 terms on the council, which is all 1-term years. So if you start in 10th grade, by 11th grade, you're pretty much done. Sorry. Okay, as I was saying, so by senior year, you won't be able to be on the council. And seeing as how it's a little harder for youth council due to staff changes and how the actual staffing of the city affects our council, I would say if we could propose to them to have like that limit just extended throughout like the grades and stuff, instead of just a 2-year term, or at least that they have a former member or someone who actually knows about the youth council attending the meetings and actually helping, so that despite there being any staffing changes or anything like that, there'll always be a seasoned member on the youth council, so it's not just starting from fresh.
I was thinking of, I like what you brought up, but I was thinking of more like of us having like kind of like a summit or something, like a training where we like help the new people that are coming on the board. And my sister will be here next year, so she already knows what's going on, but like having like a foundation where we explain to them what we did, we make them watch the video. It's like kind of like a training, so they know what to expect on the council.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the year, we're actually supposed to have an orientation. This year, it was a little different, where we actually had it combined in with the meeting. I'm not sure if you guys remember when the city clerk came in and we went review over what's in our binder. That was supposed to be a more private orientation, where we just sat all together and get that done. But I believe what could happen and what we can see if we can push for next year is that we keep that same orientation, but still have it in a more personal group, because it's not an official meeting, and then have them invite youth council members, us, like the former members, if we're, available, see when we are available, to actually come in and answer questions and discuss with the new members, so that we can keep it going, because I don't think they would like to sit and watch all our old meetings, so if we can at least have them come in and actually explain to them what the council is, because I do know it's a little more difficult to actually get each council member here, And then also having whoever the liaison is at the time or staff member handling it, maybe schedule a meeting for each member to meet with the person that appointed them. You know, not just seeing them when we have the first swearing in ceremony, but actually having that interaction and learning from them as youth council is moved forward. I'm not sure, because from what I remember, like last year, some of the members have never even met their council person, or I'm not sure if our attorney has ever met the official city attorney. So if we can have someone set that up, and I'm just giving examples, someone set that up so that it can actually happen, you know, actually learning what needs to be done instead of just moving out, you know, practice and stuff like that.
Yeah, I totally agree, because we have to, help them do, help them, do the agenda and stuff and give them the format of it all,
And it's not only the agenda, like I feel like we should have like something where we have like a one-on-one with one of them. So like as a former city manager next year, whoever becomes the new city manager, I'll have like a Zoom meeting or something where I go through each thing on the agenda and I talk about like which one are for, and you'll also have a meeting with the city clerk where you tell them how to read things off the agenda. And I feel like it'll make it way easier, especially for some of us that might not be able to make it to the town hall. So like we could have a Zoom meeting instead.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, that can be something that we officially add onto our in our bylaws. Although our bylaws are just essentially meant for our term, the new youth council members can vote. Bless you. The youth council members can also vote on what they would like to keep as well. So if we add that into our bylaws, then they would essentially start off, unless, if possible, if we could have the official council make changes to their ordinance, which requires any new members to have a meeting with either former youth council members and or the official council person who appointed them, so that we can actually learn and grow in the side of government, and not just, have our meetings and then do nothing afterwards, or that's all we know. So having that connection and is essential for our growth, and if any of you or us or I would like to even continue in the position in the future.
Yeah, I also wanted to bring up the days. I would like us to meet a little bit more, like more than once a month, because right now I'm looking at it, our next meeting is in April, and after April it's May, which is our last meeting. So maybe meeting a little bit more frequently will be better.
Yes, definitely, which is what I was saying too. But the problem is that we don't have someone here in our meetings, or we don't have someone working from our city point actually handling what we need to be done. So all our meetings, the date that we currently have is essentially booked for the entire time we are on the council, but we don't have any other dates. Today we were able to get our meeting a little outside of schedule because it is every third Tuesday. So we would actually have to go through the city's calendar and find a date that's able to stick, which should be something in our bylaws, because I believe that is something we can change, because it's not in our official ordinance, or at least the one we have in our binder. I read through it multiple times. The amount of days is entirely up to us. So if we can have discuss with the city manager or whoever's leading us, then we can have that change. What was the second part you said?
I just said to meet frequently. Like I want us to be able to meet more, because like I talked about, like April is right next month, and then after April it's May, which is our last meeting.
Yeah, I also wanted to address that as well. After meeting with city clerk, I did find out that our recess is something that we actually have to vote on. Last year we didn't vote on it. What the city council does is they try to keep it, I believe, with the county or the state. So when they go into recess the same time that we go into recess, But being on recess does not mean we're essentially done with the council because we're still sworn in members. It just means that the city manager and city clerk, city attorney, can do and vote and pass things outside of having the meetings, and then we come back and essentially review everything that the city manager, city clerk has done throughout the time. So we can actually push back when we want to go into recess. It's entirely up to us to decide when we want to finish. I just know it'll be a little harder if the council and themselves go on recess and we're still in session, because the people working might not like fit well into their schedule.
So yes, I'd also like to meet more frequently. I feel like our meetings are just too far apart from one another. And I was wondering if there's a day of the week like everyone else like knows they'd be available, because I know some of us have work or like extracurriculars. So I was wondering if there's any weekdays that are completely off limits to any of you.
We can review this after the meeting, and we can find dates where, you know, everyone is available.
Yeah, definitely. I would say if we can have a meeting or something like that with maybe a city clerk, not an official meeting, because since we would already vote on the item, and then we could just go pull up our calendars, see what day is consistently works for us, and then maybe put that in our bylaws, so when the new council comes in, that they can have a base of where to start.
I propose a motion to table tab B on reviewing bylaws.
You mean a motion to vote on discussing and reviewing bylaws?
Yeah.
Okay, second the motion to review bylaws and discuss later on.
Councilwoman Alpolo.
I also second the motion.
Councilwoman Cotier.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's carried. Moving on to tab D is a discussion on Youth Council Summit, and it is sponsored by Vice Mayor Angelina Floyd.
Yes. So I brought this item up as our mayor for the Youth Council, because we did have a summit last year, and I was hoping we can have it again this year. And the date that I currently am thinking is Friday, May 17th, to potentially have it. I'm not sure how that will work. We can always talk about having a different day. I'm just like trying to see if we can have a specific, at least something tangible and schedule, so that we can then move it later on. It's not, a permanent date, but it'll be our same youth council summit. Maybe we can try to see if we can invite former members and then actual youth councils across Florida, and I guess in the U.S. if they're willing to, fly out to come to this. And then also going into the schools and promoting it. That'll come up a little bit. We do need to raise funds for it. But this is something we would have to plan with our liaison and city manager's office, because we have to obviously not be in conflict with their calendar, and we do need a good amount of time to get it done. So yeah, if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say last year, I remember when we had this, it was kind of hard because it was during AP testing. And May 17, I'm not really sure, but I think I won't be available that day, which I know this is fun, but like, I don't think that day, I think that day is a little too far, considering like, especially if we want to invite other people around the world or other youth, because the month of May is the month of testing for most schools. So maybe like having it a little bit earlier or even later, since we have to vote when we want to take our break. So like if we end up voting for a break somewhere around like June or something, maybe we should have it around that time, considering that it's summertime for most people.
Last year our summit was actually in the afternoon. So whereas the normal school time, it wouldn't actually officially conflict with the timing because testing would usually be in the morning before school ends. So and that's also a Friday night. So then the weekend follows right after. I'm not sure as far as SAT schedule and stuff with the Saturdays in the morning. I know that it's something concurring, but I don't believe it goes out that far. The reason I also wanted to have that time is for promotional reasons. I know that week and the week after, like the week after, it is my last week of school. So some schools will be preparing to close and maybe having finals throughout the week. But I mean, if we can, because it's in the afternoon, I believe it'll work. But we do need that time to also raise funds and also promote a little bit. And the reason I didn't really want to push it out too far into June is because the later we push it out, the less it seems as something priority that we need to work on. But it'll also be harder to get youth all the way in June because then it'll be summertime. A lot of people are traveling and stuff out of town. And then by June we won't be able to go into schools because schools will be closed. So we won't be able to actually get youth. So I figured it would work to have it during the school year and also more in the weekend. If we could maybe do a Saturday. I'm not sure how that works out. Because the Saturday the 18th is actually Haitian Flag Day, so it's a little harder. So if we could have it like maybe pick that day for now, just so we could work off it. It's not permanent, you know. Because it's also in the afternoon. We could choose another day. It's just something at least by then, because school's gonna close. No, not the 18th, the 17th, that Friday before. Because I know even the city has their Haitian Flag Day celebration. So it's something, you know, if you want to attend, it's very fun. Yeah, so if we could just have a date in place or like a set time, so I'm saying around that time to have the meeting, so it'll give us enough time for promotional, so we can have flyer out, and then school will still be in session, so we can go into the schools, promote, you know, whenever we're available. I go to online school, so I have the flexibility of actually doing that, or, you know, going out to the library so that we can actually get more youth and have it a bigger event. With it also being far out, we need to book where we want to have it. Last year we had it in the Scott Galvin Community Center. We can choose another place this year if that doesn't work. And also we need to reach out to speakers and stuff for this event. So it'll give enough time for us to get those people and those funds, but not push it too far out to where we kind of miss out on a few opportunities that the timing might give us. So. Any other questions? No, opening the floor for public comment. Seeing none, hearing none. I would like motion to vote on continuing our discussion about having the youth council meeting, including everything as far as budgeting, the date, and planning it outside of our current scheduled meetings. Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay, how do we?
Councilwoman Apollon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier,
Yes.
it is carried. We are moving on to tab E, and it is a discussion on creating safer streets, removing extra space to prevent accidents, and it is sponsored by City Manager Justine Cotier.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring this up because I go to school by Solemia, and every time I go to school there, when I'm driving or when my parents are driving me, there's like an extra lane in the middle of 151st Street, which a lot of people use to make like wrongful turns, because it's not a line, it's just like a little like place in case you get lost, but a lot of people use it as a turning thing, which can confuse people and can cause accident. And what I would like to do is probably create like a street, like creating a route exactly, like removing that space, because it's technically illegal for you to like turn there. So I wanted to bring this up because it bothers me, and I feel like it's going to cause a lot of accident considering how people are turning, and it's just very chaotic. Does anybody have any questions?
I actually have a few. I believe this is something you would probably have to bring. We could vote on and probably bring up to the actual council, because removing or having any bigger or official changes requires a lot of budgeting. Requires actually having the people and the funds to do so. And then we also have to meet with code and see the official regulations as far as the street, and also making sure that territory also does not fall out of our limits. So your item is on a much bigger scale. I mean, we could vote on passing it, and then you could put something together maybe, so you can actually present it to the council, and then we could support you and be there, because I'm not, like, we can vote on it, but I'm not, as far as the capability and the realism of it actually happening, I do know it's a little harder. So
Yeah, I'm just worried about the safety, because like the turn is very illegal. Like people go over that line specifically and turn while you're trying to turn as well, which they could like literally hit you. There has been multiple occasions where I'm almost hit myself while I'm turning because a car is making a wrongful turn from somewhere that's not supposed to be even like a lane for a car.
can I ask, I do know it is Northeast 151st Street, you said, right?
Yes, 151st Solomia.
Solomia. Is it like right in front of Solomia? So is it front of Solomia Way?
So when you're coming from Costco,
Mhm.
you're leaving Costco to your left and you're going straight, you're gonna see a Northeast 151st Street light. So you could turn right to go to Alonzo and Tracy Morning, which is the school that I go to. And when this, like in the middle, I think like it's supposed to be a ramp where people get lost, but I feel like it's very illegal to be
where
there.
you go straight, or
You turn to the right.
so I see what you're saying. There's a lane to turn left and there's a lane to turn right.
Yeah, and then there's a middle.
There's a middle lane, which
Yeah,
is
that
nothing.
thing, yeah.
I believe that's also put there. Maybe, I'm not sure, because if there's a street that goes straight actually, and I know workers do go that way. I could be why that's there. I'm not sure why it's there actually, which is a great question because it doesn't have any signs. But do you mean that people actually use the middle lane to do?
To turn to the right while another car's turning if they feel like you're too slow.
Oh, so it's like a double turn lane?
Yeah, they kind of turn it into a double turn lane, which could create potential accidents.
Okay, yeah, because if it's supposed to be used as either going straight or turn late, I would say the thing that they would probably have to do is actually put the signs on the ground. I'm not sure if like when you're about to get off the highway or something, where it has an arrow going forward and going to the right, so that, and then also both turning signals where it's like, okay, both lanes are turning right. Especially as a driver, I mean, I'm not sure how many people know this, but if you do, you're supposed to turn into the lane that you're coming from. So if someone is turning from that middle lane to the right, they should be going into that outer lane the same way you should be turning into the inner lane as well. So if that might be something that'll probably pass a little better if you bring it up to them, to actually just have that verbiage on the ground, and also having the light to say, okay, you can either go forward or turn, and also indicating that to drivers on the road that it is a turning lane, having maybe a sign that also says right turn from the people on the right only when the light is red. Those are something that is probably more available on to do than actually cutting off the lane, because that goes into the median maybe having to move, and then a lot of constructual opponents that may not follow as well with the council.
Thank you.
Sorry. So what council meeting would you plan to bring that up to them? Because I'd be happy to come for your support, but I don't know.
Thank you. So I'll look in the date to see when is our next council meeting, and then I'll reach out to you to know if you're available, and if anyone else wants to support me on the day.
Yeah, what you could also do is, you are city manager, so maybe bring it up to city manager to have it added as an item, or at least a special presentation to the next meeting. I believe their meetings are on the third and fourth Tuesday of each month at, I think, 7 p.m. I'm not sure of the accuracy. Second and fourth? Okay, thank you, Dunya. Yeah, second and fourth Tuesday of each month, so they do meet twice a month. And then you could just have it added to, I believe the fourth one is the next one coming up, because we're on the next meeting is tomorrow, I think. So you bring that up to them, and then how it rolls and how it passes, you would just let us know, so that we can, actually bring that up to them and maybe have a scheduled meeting with code for you to see if that's something actually able to be done, because that's a more city and constructural issue rather than just a fully council, if that makes sense. So would we like to vote? Okay, opening the floor to public comment. Seeing and hearing none, I motion to vote on supporting Justine and bringing the street fix of Northeast 151st Street, Solomia Way, proposal up to the council at their fourth meeting, I believe, or whenever, after meeting with the manager. Do I have a second so we can vote?
Second.
Okay.
Councilwoman Alpolon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier,
Yes.
it is
Yes.
carried. We're moving on to tab F. It is a discussion of encouraging and empowering high school seniors to exercise their right to vote as the youth, and it is brought up by City Manager Justine Cotier.
Yes, so with the upcoming election, I want to make sure that we prioritize and bring awareness how important it is to vote. And so we could hold like a certain summit or a certain review on how to vote on a ballot and how it goes and how to register. That's one of my plans, because I want to see more votes, and I want to make sure that our youth in the city knows how to vote. Does anybody have any questions?
This isn't something we are voting on, right? Or is it just something you're bringing up, or?
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe we should find a way to encourage and empower high school seniors to vote.
Okay, so I don't think it's a voting item, but something we could just talk about, because it's not something that'll officially make any changes. But what I would say is, I'm not sure if you know, but the city manager actually handles our voting, and they watch the voting process happen. So I would encourage you to do is actually also get in touch with our actual city clerk, which is, Azaria, and schedule a meeting with the city clerk's office, because I know they do a lot of promotionals. I think they even have videos going out explaining voting and stuff. So you can schedule and actually reach out to principals of the schools and stuff to have sessions about teaching them how to vote, and actually coming out. Maybe we got to be like, hey, we'll give you, there's most of them are seniors, so it'll be a little hard to convince them to do it, because you can't really just give them like community service hours, because it's pretty much past the point. Well,
I
yeah,
was
so
thinking maybe like a treat, like certain things like such as pizza or sodas or
Yeah.
snacks
yeah,
to
so
encourage them to vote. I'm sorry.
yeah, no worries, my bad. Yeah, that'll just be something that after seeing the city clerk that you guys can discuss on, to actually happen. Since it's not like an official change, I don't think we actually need a vote on it. It's just something like a great item that you brought up to point, because a lot of kids this year are eligible to vote in our city. So I don't know, maybe going through a list of the schools and then, you know, having that session with them, you know?
We're moving on to tab G. It is a discussion on creating a newsletter to raise awareness for our city initiatives and spread the word about the Youth Council. This is brought up by City Manager Justine Coutier.
So with this item, I want us to be able to let people know as the youth council what we're doing around for our community. So having a newsletter, sending them every month with here's what our last meeting was about, here's the items that some of our council brought up, and to let them know what we're doing and bring awareness. So does anybody have any questions?
I just want to add on to that actually, because I was thinking the same thing, because I'm actually subscribed to like the council's emails. So I get the emails from the mayor, I get the emails from the council people when they send out their weekly newsletter or, you know, their monthly. Some of them actually mail. But to actually have that done, we need to have someone in the position to do that. So I guess we would have to see with our liaison if that's additional work, if they would be willing to take it, or if maybe we could just bring it up to communications and have that be something that they do, and we can have a meeting where we send out, you know, and it'll just go through the same system, so that we don't actually need to really find more people for it. It'll just do the same chain that it's actually available. That's actually a great thing. Like if we can get done and actually have it on the official webpage, and I think it'll also help with engagement for sure, because we don't really have anyone at our meetings. So
Yeah, what I was really thinking is for one of us to take the task of creating the newsletter, and we checked it on with our liaison, where we send it over to them and they make grammatical changes if that's possible. So we're able to send it out every month, because it'll bring more awareness.
I have one question. So, like, would we be rotating between making a newsletter every month or so, or would it be the same person making the newsletter?
I was thinking more of a returning thing where everyone gets to have a turn with the task, so it's not to a specific person.
what I would say and propose that we could do also is that have each member send, like have someone specific, you know, controlling it, like how you do agenda, and have each member send what they would like to have on it, and then just essentially just put it all together, and then they could also add what they want. I'm not sure if our city clerk would like to take this task. I'm just saying it because, okay, yeah, because since our city clerk already handles our minutes and our notes for the meeting, it'll be much easier because she already has everything available.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to add another task. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's a great idea. To actually, yeah.
So it'll be after every meeting, not the same day or anything, but it's just a recap of what we talked about during our meetings and the items we brought up, what's the next step, and when is our next meeting.
Yeah, that sounds great. I was actually looking at the YouTube channel also before, and I realized that our city clerk actually does a video which is called Long Meeting Short, where she kind of just goes over everything that went in the meeting. I'm not sure if later on in the future if we ever want to do something like that, where it's like a cute little video, and then we could talk with IT and Nomi TV to actually, okay, I'm getting a yes from Dunya, to actually have that done, and we could just do a little video and then put it out, and it essentially could just be the same things we have on the newsletter. So
I was also thinking of like an Instagram post because our Instagram page is pretty dead. So doing like a little thing of what, like the same thing for the newsletter, but instead is through our Instagram where we have like each item and what it was and what is our next meeting. So it'll just be per slide instead of like a whole thing, a whole paragraph. It'll just be per slide. It's just like, hey, see you at our next meeting, blah, blah, blah. Here's what we talked about.
Yeah, that's actually because what happened is social media tends to be managed by whoever's working for the council person. So I know, for example, Vice Mayor's social media was handled by her liaison. Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy is handled by Chanel, her liaison, her aide. And seeing with the many changes going on with our council, maybe we can have a more public account. Not saying that our password would be out there to the world. I just mean that since we already have our city clerk doing our newsletter and stuff, that is something that we have access to, and so it's forever instilled in the council rather than based off of whoever's working, because then we lose the account each time the person is changed because they're the ones who make it and base it off, have it actually linked to our youth council email. So any one of us can go in and post something so that we're able to, be accountable for our Instagram and also not rely on others who may not be able to actually do it when we want to do it. So
Yeah, thank you.
okay, motion to vote on a few things. Having the discussion of our social media and Instagram and actually making it more available to us, so that we can actually control it. Voting on having the long meeting short video with the Nomi TV, as well as the original item, having the newsletter go out as well after each meeting through, not specifically that day, but, throughout the week, in that each of us would actually take the initiative to take what we had and send it to our city clerk. That'll also, lessen the load on them a little bit. If you have any items to put on there, and it'll also work well with promoting for our summit as well, so we can add like flyers and anything we need to it. So can I get a second and then a vote?
I second.
Okay. Mayor Angelina Fleury-May,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alpolon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier.
Yes.
It is carried. Okay, we are moving on to tab H. It's a discussion of council meetings held more than once per month.
So I brought this item up already, and while Angelina was talking about it, that's something that we have to talk to our liaison about, which is not possible right now because we don't have any liaison. So yeah, you guys could table this item.
Actually, I moved to actually move this from the table because, and actually just remove it as an item, essentially, because we already have it. And then through the notes of our city clerk and manager, you guys can meet up on publishing a updated agenda without this item on it, since we already discussed it under bylaws technically. So any motion, second to motion to remove the item from the table?
I second.
Okay.
Mayor Angelina Fleury-May,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alpolon.
Yes.
It is carried. We are moving on to tab I. It is a discussion of hiring SAT tutorers for juniors instead of scholarships, and it is brought up by City Mayor Justine Cotier.
City manager. Thank you. So considering there's a lot of scholarship opportunities available, a lot of us have a lot of scholarship opportunities open, and we're not getting a lot of applicants, or there's a lot of essay requirements. Instead, I was thinking more of us having SAT tutors, very practical SAT tutors, being there every Saturday at the library, to teach, to help and to teach kids taking the SAT, and to show them every path or other thing, considering the SAT is also digital for the upcoming years. So instead of like having scholarship, because having a good SAT score also makes you more available for scholarships than just giving scholarships alone. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, I do. Speaking, under the fact that you said scholarship, is this actually an amendment to one of the previous item that you had in our last meeting to have scholarships?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we are discussing to amend, having a scholarship and instead have SAT tutors?
The scholarship that I asked for during our last board meeting was to help first generation and also kids that came here through the Biden or asylum seekers. It's not the same thing as the juniors because some of them comes as seniors, not juniors. So they will have the opportunity to have SAT tutors. So I think I still want to go with the other scholarship and with this item as well.
So you would like to add it as an addition to the item previously
Yes.
passed? Okay. Okay. I think it'll be good to actually have that component. But I do have a few questions. You did say hiring SAT tutors, so I believe this is a paid opportunity that you would like to provide.
I was thinking that because I know a lot of like there's kids that have good SAT scores and there's also resources online, but having a tutor, someone that's their specific field, helps the student higher and also helps them put them in the right path. So that's why I said a SAT student instead of having our own youth helping out other students.
Okay. I believe that is something that would have to be brought up to library and as well as our mayor council, our mayor council people, so that maybe they want to partner with you or partner with us so that they can sponsor that payment. Or maybe we can see with maybe CRA if they have a grant or something like that so that we can get the funding to actually put this out. Because I know budget is extremely tight. So, yeah, we can vote to have it continue discussion. And then I would say take note of CRA, council members, and the library because we would be needing that location. And then outreach as well. Someone needs to be over outreach. So essentially I'm not sure how the budget would look like. I mean, it'll depend on after reaching out to those people to see what can actually happen in that sense.
Because my plan was originally to volunteer, but considering SAT tutors are a little bit expensive, so I wanted to for us to have the best tutors available for our students and to invest in their futures, we might have to pay a little just to get the extra help.
Yeah, which is understandable. I know there's also a lot of tutoring programs readily available. I would also say if that's not something many students are available to do, to actually look into the FIU ETS program. I'm actually part of that program. And they have, I'm not sure if some of you remember, but last year we did have someone from FIU come in and explain to us about the ETS program. And they have it throughout the year. It is, I believe, every other Saturday at on campus, FIU campus, Biscayne, on Biscayne, which is free. You just apply it as long as you're eligible for it. Which is income based, I believe. Then you could essentially go in and get the free tutoring. Then they give you the College Board book, they give you the Blue Book, they give you all that stuff. So, and they provide lunch. So if that's not something we could do with the library and stuff, maybe we can see, if we could take like a partnership or something like that.
Having the book is very essential, but having the book is not really enforcing your students to go through the book and doing the SAT practices. And having an SAT tutor here will actually go through them page by page on what to do. It could be a group thing where they work like a math teacher, where it's like a classroom. Each Saturday it's a different subject and they just go through it one by one. It doesn't have to be many tutors. It could be one, depending on how many students are attending, which they'll need to pre-register for.
Yeah, that's understandable. I was just giving an example from the ETS program. They actually do have like separated by grade level, and they actually make you go and take practice SAT exams and all that stuff. So I was saying maybe we can, take a little inspo from that. And then the problem is it's not having it. It's the budget and the resources to actually do it. So as long as we could get that, then it should be, a breeze.
Thank you.
I would like to bring up a motion to continue this discussion.
Second?
Mayor Angelina Fleury,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alpolon.
Yes.
It is carried. We are moving on to tab J. It is a discussion of fundraising through a car wash, and it is brought up by Councilwoman Marlene Alpolon.
So regarding any fundraiser ideas, I'd propose that we host a car wash, specifically in Griffin Park, because I was there a couple months ago for Winter Wonderland, I think, and I know the park is very spacious, and we would have enough space for a car queue and tents to store all of our supplies like hoses, soap, rags, towels. And it's more of a cheaper fundraiser idea besides from, I don't know, a bake sale. I was thinking of a bake sale, but I figured that a car wash would be cheaper. And anything else? Oh, also for fees, since it's an amateur car wash, we would keep the prices like pretty simple, like maybe around $10, so it'll incite more people to come. And let's see. And I was also wondering if we do move forward with the fundraising idea. I was wondering if we should take just cash or cash and Zelle, since having both of those payment options, we would have a bigger customer base, and people wouldn't be limited by not having cash. And I think it'd be a good fundraising idea to boost our funds, since we don't have much right now.
Do you have like a date set on this, or like an idea of what day would you want to do this?
I wasn't thinking a specific date. I was thinking like late April-ish. Because that would give us a good amount of time to plan, since that's like a month and a week or two away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I think late April's a good date, considering that we're also going to have our summit, so we could raise money for a summit as well. And something else I wanted to bring up is I think Zelle might not be available for us. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe having something like a Square. If you guys don't know about the Square thing, where you bring your card and you just tap it through, I think something like that will be more efficient and more includable. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually want to piggyback off of that idea, especially having a lot of experience with city events. I actually think that the Griffin is a great idea for location, seeing it's in the between two busy streets, 125th and I believe Griffin Boulevard. I'm not sure. Yeah, Griffin Boulevard. And we can also have, you have to have police there to actually control the flow of traffic. We can have maybe someone on each end, so 125th, and also, with signs and stuff, with the price of the car wash, and then seeing as they have the Griffin Community Center, then we also have that source of water, and that we would need for it as well. So I think the location is a great idea. To piggyback off of the Zelle item, I don't think Zelle will be available. We can see if they do have a square, and if not, I would say maybe we can have it on Eventbrite, so that they would just come in and actually just register the same way, and then they could pay through there, where they would just put in card information, and then yeah, it'll just go through and have it open through the whole day instead of like shutting it off on event day. And then if people don't want their car washed and they just want to donate, they could also do that as well, you know?
As much as I think the Eventbrite is a great idea, I have to bring awareness that a lot of people don't know about the Eventbrite website or may not be aware. Someone might just be going by and just see the car wash sign and interested without even knowing about the Eventbrite. So I think maybe we should try having the square, and if that's not available, then we have to go to Eventbrite.
No, I mean, like, like, we could promote it and also have, like, the event, I mean, saying, to have it as a collection of money and registration, just a form so that we're able to get the money and go into our account, because it's, like, directly linked, instead of, like, I mean, like, because on Eventbrite, our events fall under the City of North Miami's account, so we don't need to, like, hey, if you registered on Eventbrite, you know, they just come in, and then if the form of payment that they have is not available, then they could just register through there and just send the money, not as like an official, like you guys have to register or something like that. It's an open event, you know, through the cards that are passing, and it'll be incredibly hard to know if someone already registered. I'm just saying, in the case that we do it, have the Eventbrite, we can also just share like QR code and stuff like
That's
that for
true.
people who
Yeah.
want to register from anywhere, you know?
Thank you.
Is Cash App not available if we wanted to do that?
I think Cash App falls on the same basis of Zelle, so we would need that number and that linked account and stuff like that. And the city has their own regulations as far as, you know, those mobile apps. Like, I mean, you know, TikTok is banned, so I don't know about Cash App. So, if we can have, you know, someone liaison or someone who knows how to get that done, if they can be there as well, I mean, we could just team up with, I'm not sure, but leave this open for discussion so that we can continue and find the right things. I would say we should probably try and choose a tentative date. I was thinking maybe we can have it on like a Saturday or something, because that's when the roads are the busiest. Yikes. I think Sunday's a little difficult. And I mean, unless you guys want to do it.
We can discuss this
Okay.
after.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just open it up for discussion and then see the date, you know, and then maybe also we're not exactly sure how many cars we would get, so maybe we can reach out and promote to the library and stuff like that, so that we can get volunteers, so it's not just us washing those cars.
Yeah, not only the library, I think we should also promote it on our Instagram page as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just saying, because like that's where I know, like, they got mad kid. They have a lot of children there. You know, so it'll be a great idea to be like, hey, you know, if you want to come in and then help us car wash.
Would we be able to give community service to the kids who volunteer for the car wash?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. And then maybe we can speak with like any of our sponsors or something like that. So the people that are over the age of community service hours or past that, we can maybe have a funding, like an actual payment form for them, based off like how many people and stuff like that. Yeah, but then we would have to like maybe have a limit or a regulation as far as how many people we would have if it's not just volunteering. I feel like we should just open it up as volunteering, and if that doesn't go well, then we can lead into the payment option, because you know money's tight for everyone. So
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say that I think that we should have more volunteer than just having a hiring process. Maybe having snack as a reward and community service as the students that are like able to get community service.
I
But if you're
agree.
not,
I
a
agree.
snack idea will be better. And yeah,
I think we should actually just have food and stuff available at the center. You know, it'll also help with the people that are coming through to have like tables and stuff in this the center, so they could just chill out and eat and whatever while we wash their cars, instead of sit there and watch us in the hot sun do it. So yeah, having the community center, we have to also book that, you know, so
You're
that we
talking
can
about
have
the
it.
community center across the street from the park?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Griffin.
Okay.
Cause yeah, 'cause that's where we'll be getting our water and all that stuff from. But we still need the center, so at least people could go in, chill out while we do a, you know, a little touch up on their car. So that's also something we can open up. You know, there'll be food. I know it does promote kids to come more when there's food. We can't lie. So
So we would be having like a donation box kind of thing and accepting cash? Okay.
Another thing, do you want to set a specific date for this car wash? Maybe an estimated date of
She
when
said
you think.
April, so
So you-
I believe like
It's
the
April?
end of the month would be a good idea, so we have more time to plan it and, you know.
seeing as we have 2 weeks of this month, I was thinking maybe we could do like in between April, so then if it's something that didn't take after going through the process of having the first one, it'll still be a month away. But maybe we could just have like another one after that as well if we still, you know, didn't reach our goal. So
Okay. We can discuss this
Yeah.
after the meeting.
So, seeing and opening the tab up for public comment, seeing none, hearing none, motion to vote on continuing our discussion and finalizing the details, for the fundraising car wash and / donation box, I guess. Can I get a second and a vote?
I second.
Mayor Fleury,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Arpolon.
Yes.
It is carried. We are now moving on to tab K, discussion of relaunching the survey, and it is brought up by Mayor Angelina Fleury.
Okay, last year, we did vote and pass on having a survey. However, due to the timing of it, it was not actually able to go out to any schools. So I was thinking we can review the questions on there, or if you guys want to add any for this year, and push the survey out. And last year it was more towards school safety and stuff like that. But I feel like it should be more just kind of like seeing where civic engagement is at and what initiatives we can actually work on for this year, instead of, you know, just being, you know, just like school safety and stuff like that, which was the goal this year. But I feel like with our current position given this year, it'll be a little better, and we might get more feedback if it's more geared toward how much they know and how much we can actually help the youth in our city.
I think it's a great idea. I would love to go over the questions. Yeah.
Okay, so we can schedule like a Zoom or something like that. Dunya is here. She also already has the former questions, and it's actually on, like, everything's available basically. We just need to figure out actually reaching out to the schools and getting it plastered around. I was thinking we could actually just have it also as a QR code, like little places like flyers, be like, hey, scan this QR code and complete our survey, you know. I'm not sure what we would use to incite like participation. Maybe we can talk with the schools like, hey, if you guys complete this survey, we'll give you community service hours, you know, just once. But definitely continuing that discussion to have it pushed out. I would say as soon as possible, like as soon as we can get it out, the best. Because I don't want like schools to end, and then we also have to wait on responses from the schools and stuff, which was an issue that we faced last year. So any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, opening the tab up for public comment. Hearing none, seeing none, I motion to vote on relaunching our survey for this year, and talking about the dates and reviewing the questions amongst each other, to see when we actually want to push that forward. Do I get a second?
I second.
Mayor Floime,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alpolon.
Yes.
It is carried. We are now moving on to tab L, and that is reviewing the budget, and it is brought up by Mayor Floime.
I actually want to table this item because we don't actually have someone here in the city working that can actually bring up the budget to us to get that done. If we did, it would have been, available, but I want to table it and ask that our city manager would get in touch with either our liaison or something.
I did put it in the email that you did request for that, but unfortunately, I don't think it was printed out.
Yeah, so I think if they can actually be here at the meeting, or at least we have someone from budget here at the meeting, and then you could just follow up until or before our meeting so that they're actually here and present. So then we don't have to deal with the chance of the paper maybe being here, but then the person who can actually carry out the actions not being here. So we can table that, and then, you can go through the process of maybe having that available for our next meeting. So motion to table tab L for the next meeting.
I second.
Okay. Mayor Floime,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alpolon.
Yes.
It is carried. We are now moving on to tab M, a discussion on solutions to promote job programs for exceptional students' education for North Miami youth, and it is brought up by City Manager Cotier.
So I brought this item up during our last meeting on how important it is to be inclusive when it comes to having people in our city hall. And so far, I wasn't able to present it in front of the council. Considering our liaison, I was supposed to have a date and set a presentation, but I never got anything back. I wanted to bring this back to show that it's a priority for me for us to include other kids in our city hall, and I want to see more inclusivity. So I just wanted to bring it up and bring awareness that this is still a priority. I still prioritize this item.
Okay. I would say also seeing the change in our positions now and circumstances, seeing how we were actually able to get this meeting as well, that you actually reconnect with, now that we know who to reach out to, reconnect with those people to see if they can add it on to the agenda, to bring it up at the next meeting, because this is something like we did all vote to make this happen. And then as well as, like we were talking about earlier, the street lights that we just voted on, we need that to be added to their meeting as well.
Yeah, so we already voted at last meeting. So I was thinking, so right now I'll be reaching out to our liaison to see if I could set up a date along with the street safety item to see if I could make a special presentation.
Okay, that sounds perfect. I actually would like to stay within the youth council reports and add a few things that were brought up to me today. I have 3 different things, but they're not long. The first thing I would like to say is Happy Women History Month. We are an all-women council, so we are representing, yes. And then we also have City Clerk Cassandra Timothy and Vice Mayor Mary Estime, who are influential women in the city that do sit on the council and was elected. And then I also want to, say thank you to all the women staff and the people who actually take the chance to make this happen, and as well as highlighting our Women's Commission, who usually have our meeting after us on the 3rd Tuesday of each month. It's a great lineup of women. And say thank you to the woman that we have in the room who is working our meeting Dunya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dunya. It means a lot to have you here, especially last minute. So highlight that, and while I'm highlighting that, I would like to bring up the Women's History Month Empowerment Luncheon. Vice Mayor, it's actually an event through Vice Mayor Mary Estime Irving, who shared her invitation to us, and Gertie actually asked me to bring it up in the meeting. It is being held Thursday, March 28th at the FIU Coven Center in North Miami from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you would like to attend, or if anyone's watching, you can go to RSVP at the Eventbrite, which is Vice Mayor 2024, WEN luncheon.eventbrite.com, or go to their Instagram. I believe it's the North Miami Council Instagram, or just go on the North Miami Florida.gov website and see what events that they currently have. Yes, for correction, it is North Miami FL, and the luncheon is on there, and then you can also find the link in their description, in their bio, to register for it. Anyone that would like to attend, I can't confirm or deny my attendance because I do have to look into my calendar, and it was brought up today. But that's all I have for that item. The last thing I want to bring up, which was also brought up to me by Dunya, and is something I was actually needed to have, is when we had our swearing-in ceremony, we were supposed to have headshots taken like last year, which was not done. So if we could plan a date, maybe through communications, so that we can come back here, dress nicely, to get our headshots taken, so that our photos can be uploaded to the North Miami website. They could be on our event photos and stuff like that, our Instagram. So if we can have those, professional headshots, come back, plan a date for that, within our schedules, we would see afterwards, because we really need to get that done, and it's kind of a priority item. So, but that does wrap up what I have to say.
I also have something to say. I wanted to bring awareness to what's going on in our country, Haiti, considering that a lot of us on the board are Haitian, and there's a lot of things going on that's bringing a lot of alarming things to me, and I feel very bad. My heart is with all the Haitian people. I also have family members in Haiti, and my heart goes out to everyone. And if you're Haitian, my heart also goes out to you too, because I'm also Haitian. I'm here for all of you guys, and yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, definitely. I do have family in Haiti. I've actually never been to Haiti, but I would like to be able to go back to our country one day, and I would like for it to be in a stable state. The North Miami did have an event to stand in solidarity with Haiti, which I did attend, and I do stand in solidarity with Haiti. I hope you guys do as well, because we are Haitian. But this is something that's been going on for some time, and a lot of lives have been lost. A lot of people have been kidnapped. So this is a very serious matter that is happening. So any other youth council reports that would like to be added?
There are no reports at this time.
Okay, city clerk. Do you have anything else?
No, I do not. I just have the motion to adjourn.
Okay, second.
Okay. Mayor Floyume,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Apollon.
Yes.
It is carried.
Okay, the time is now 6:37 p.m. Have a good one.